Alright, at the top right position as the Peach Terran, we have a Ripping Bear Claw. Oh my god. Wait, Red, is this one of your subscribers? God, he's from the Bear Force. He's like the Ultra Bear man. Ripping Bear Claw. Alright, and at the bottom right, or bottom left, or bottom middle, whatever, it's Red Bonyth. He's red, and he's Bonyth. Okay, but seriously, his ID is actually Red Bonyth. I don't know why he's not using that tag right now. Okay, so, I mean, apparently this is MorroW. Apparently the Ripping Clan is just... Apparently the Ripping Clan is actually amazing. They're just picking the most badass names that they can think of. Holy god, wait, I just want to see all these games. I want to see what names they pick. This is amazing. There's like all these these are like code names, man. Oh my god. This is so cool. Like, can you imagine, you know, you're just going about your day. Wait, I should probably turn off this junk. Can you imagine, you know, you're like la-di-da-di-da, queuing up for some ladder games. You know, you're like a newbie little Protoss, you're like 1200 MMR, you don't really know what you're doing. You just, like, you played like 3 games against the computer, you're like, you know what, Day9 said that I should go online and play against people. Alright, I'm gonna go play some games. You know what, I'm gonna try playing a ranked game. And then in your first game, your opponent is Ripping Bear Claw. You're like, oh god, not like this. I would be pretty terrified of this name. Now, having said that, when I was laddering on IC Cup, I actually employed the opposite strategy. You see, a lot of players will try and make very intimidating sounding names, you know, like Ripping Bear Claw or XX Slayer 69XX, for example, as their IDs. So the problem is these become a little bit common. You know, everyone wants like a really cool, badass name. So what I did instead was, for my IC Cup account name, I made the account Magical Girl. Because think about it this way, alright? You're playing a ladder game, okay? Would you rather lose against someone with a crazy badass name like Ripping Bear Claw? Because that's not so bad, right? It's like, okay, well if I lost, I mean he's a Ripping Bear Claw. I mean what was I supposed to do? You know, like the loss was inevitable. But if you're playing against somebody called Magical Girl, you do not want to lose that game. I mean, can you imagine? Like you're like, you know, you're hanging out with your friends later. They're like, oh, you know, you were laddering. Hey, Liquid Red subscribed. Oh my god, I'm fangirling out. Liquid Red is now a sub to me. Thank you so much, Red. That is amazing. I made it, guys. I made it. Woo! All right, bucket list number 1 ticked off. All right, wait, what was I talking about? Okay. So you're talking with your friends, right? And they're like, oh, you know, hey, Sayle, I saw you were laddering earlier on. You know, how did your games go? Can you imagine telling your friends you lost to someone called Magical Girl? Like, how embarrassed would you be? You know what I mean? It's like the reverse psychology. You know, rather than having an extremely intimidating name, you pick an absolutely ridiculous, stupid name, and also coincidentally, you know, stream your games while singing Disney songs. And then your opponents, they just feel really intimidated because they're like, how could I possibly lose to this idiot with this, like, you know, really dumb name? It freaks them out. So try it, guys. Just try it out. Just trust me. Just make an account with a really dumb name and just watch. It got me to B-. That's all I'm saying. I got B- off the back of that name. So see how it works for you. All right, so what's actually happening in this game? We got fast expand here. Is this just an FD? Presumably, this will just be an FD from Mr. Ripping Bear Claw, aka MorroW. By the way, I'm actually, you know, back into more serious mode. I'm actually really interested to see how well MorroW does here. Because, you know, like I don't know how many people are actually following the thread, like the Italian Esports Open thread, but there's a lot of questions, right? So the invites have been Cloud, Noni, MorroW, Draco, and Firebat Hero, which is amazing, by the way. Firebat Hero was just announced today. But you see, these are a lot of old school players, right? Like Cloud, Noni, MorroW, these guys were like old school, seriously good players, but they haven't really been super active recently. Even Draco's been streaming a lot, but you know, he's definitely not nearly the same form as he was in his prime. So, you know, it's really interesting question. How much practice have these guys gotten? You know, are they going to be in shape in 3 weeks' time to actually play in the finals and have a good chance against someone like Bonyth? This match, again, could very realistically be a match that we see in Italy, you know, fight with these guys fighting for their share of a $16,000 prize pool. So does MorroW actually have a stand a chance? I guess, you know, we'll see here. This will be our first taste of what could potentially come. MorroW opting for the double tank opening here, kind of the strong FD. Interested in getting Vulture speed already. So he's got mines, right? Yeah, he's got mines. He's gonna lay some defensive mines. And he's interestingly got quite a fast Vulture speed here. I don't actually know the normal timing on this for an FD expand. But could potentially do some crazy fast, you know, Vulture runarounds and harassment here, especially if Bonyth gets greedy and goes for a fast third base like a lot of Protosses do. Bonyth in particular really likes to go for Reaver openings into carriers. He's quite well known for having, you know, solid micro for both of those units, as well as having great Zealot micro. The problem with doing that opening is you have a very low Dragoon count, and that, look at this, exactly as I said, going for the Reaver opening. So when that happens, you use your Reaver to keep the Terran on the defensive and allow you to get a very fast third base relatively safely, right? Because not only can you do harassment and damage in the main base, but you can, after he builds turrets and secures his main, you drop the Reaver outside his natural, and every time he moves forward, the Reaver gets a free shot off, right? So you can really slow down any Terran attack. Now the problem is you have a very low Dragoon. Well, it's not really a problem, but the weakness is that you have a very low Dragoon count, and so you are quite vulnerable to like counter Vulture drops. If you don't make these walls properly, if you don't position your Dragoons correctly, you can actually take a lot of damage, from Reaver harass. As a side note, even though this is technically an island base, you don't need to drop units here. You can actually run them through these using the mineral patches. So I don't know how many people are familiar with the map Fortress SE. It's exactly the same principle. These are neutral gates. You cannot kill these. So ground units cannot go through these walls, but workers obviously can glide to the patches, and you can cross the gates with workers without a shuttle or a dropship, and basically get a free island base. So you don't technically need a shuttle for this. Now, using a shuttle for this is fine because that means you know, MorroW won't actually see the probe go out. So I think in this case it's actually good to kind of do this. This also means the fast third is much safer as well, because really you're not even defending a second point by ground unless MorroW goes for dropships, which is not, well, probably not that common. I mean, MorroW could think about it since there are 4 island bases on this map. Anyway, we're going in here with the harassment. Look at this, 2 Goliaths already here from MorroW. I'm actually, did he? Oh, he must have scanned it, I guess, with his comsats. I'm actually curious how he saw this. He must have seen this already. Like, there's no other reason to get 2 Goliaths so fast. He's not paying attention though. Oh man, big SCV explosion. Oh man, that is really painful. And he might actually, wow, what was he actually targeting there? If he targeted either of these siege tanks, he would have killed it with a Scarab. I'm actually quite surprised. I'm actually not sure what he targeted there. Maybe he targeted the SCV that was repairing or something. That's a little bit unlucky there for Bonyth. In the meantime, he's going back in now. And oh, he's actually moving out with his Dragoons as well. He's got a good, he's got like 9, 10, 11 Dragoons right now. By the way, MorroW's taking a fast third. MorroW's already taking his third base. He's playing this as if, ooh, nice grab there. MorroW's playing this as if it's Fighting Spirit, but this is not Fighting Spirit. He has to be careful here. He has to actually move out on the map in order to take that third base. And look at this. This is Bonyth's legendary Reaver control here. It doesn't quite finish off that siege tank, but Bonyth has to be so careful. Looks like an engineering bay. Wow, he doesn't even have an engineering bay yet. He was actually relying on the Goliaths and the fast +1. He's relying on the Goliaths to help deal with the Reaver. Oh no, big mistake there by Bonyth. Gets into the siege tank range, actually loses it right after I complimented his Reaver micro there. Anyway, you can see the probes transferring over. You know, no shuttle required, just sliding right through these 2 gates. And they're Reavers into carriers, guys. I told you exactly what Bonyth would do. This is Bonyth style. Is that a 3rd Stargate actually? Okay, no, it's 2 Stargates and a fleet beacon. Normally, when you go fast carriers like this, you only go 2 Stargates. 3 Stargates is very greedy. The amount of the extra resources you invest into the extra Stargate and getting the third carrier producing at the same time can make you die, basically, because you don't have enough to actually hold the Terran off until the carriers are ready. But it's very interesting, actually, because, you know, for the Terran players at the tournament, like, in particularly, I guess, the foreigner Terran players, I'm not sure if Firebat here, or I'm not sure how much, like, you know, studying of replays Firebat here will be doing to prepare for this. I imagine he probably won't do that much. Well, actually, maybe he will. I don't know. I don't know how much preparation he'll do. But, you know, for players like MorroW, who are going to be here, or for example, like Koget, who's playing in the EU playoffs on Sunday, I think you have to know Bonyth is going to do something like this. Like, Bonyth does this almost every PvT. It's kind of like how if you're a Protoss playing against Eon Zerg, you should expect a lot of early aggression, early Ling busts, early Hydra busts. You know, if you don't expect that from Eon Zerg, you're just not paying attention, you know? So not being prepared, not having a response to this would be quite bad, I think, for any Terran players who end up potentially playing against Bonyth either on Sunday or at the finals. Hold on, sorry, I was trying to look on the minimap where the Reaper was. I couldn't actually see it because it's kind of, for some reason, it's kind of behind. Wait a minute, is he actually going to get the upgrade? This is the +1 armor, it's going to be really close. The Zealots are actually still attacking it, the Goliaths are not helping. The +1 armor actually gets stopped here. Nice snipe by Bonyth. Oh man, there's Goliaths here, but they don't have range, so it's actually not that easy for them to stop this Reaver. Bonyth continue to do damage, no mining going on in the main base. I wonder if I can see how many kills are on this Reaver. No, I can't because he's making more and more Scarabs. The SCVs transfer back! But the Scarab, oh, it actually goes off. Holy, oh my god, he's still killing stuff. This Reaver is just single-handedly, well, actually no, this is the second Reaver. The second Reaver is single-handedly winning the game. It looks like Goliaths now have their range upgrade. Wait, is that a fourth command center? Wait a minute. Wait, MorroW made a fourth command center already, and he's floating it to the island base. MorroW, despite taking pretty... Wait, what the heck is going on over here? Alright, little probe mating dance. Where'd the Reaver go? Okay, the Reaver came back. MorroW, despite taking severe damage from the Reaver, actually went for a greedy fourth base here. That is very interesting. Alright, so the command center's floated over, but the problem is he can't put units here. So if Bonyth sees this, like, he can't defend this base. Because remember, ground units can't go through here. Only workers can go through here. And I don't think he has a dropship yet, because he had his starport lifted for a really long time. So Bonyth's actually going to leave this here. Looks like Bonyth actually has the speed upgrade. He's coming over here to the mineral only third. He's actually not dropped the Reaver. Reaver, please drop. There's the drop, and gets a couple of SCVs. Not the most. The Goliaths are actually here. He's got to be quite careful there. Coming a couple of vultures, and he's out. Meanwhile, the Dragoons are posturing in the middle of the map just to prevent any kind of move out here from the Terran player. And another island being taken by Bonyth. You can see there at the bottom right. Very interesting. And there we go. 4 carriers already. He's getting a third Stargate as well as his Templar Archives to get those storms going. A second Cybernetics Core as well. I think that must be +2 attack upgrade for these carriers. Is there any that's not building? No, they're all still building. These carriers are going to be insane. There was a scan there. Oh, he just scanned the Protoss army. Okay. MorroW scanned the Protoss army. Does he know? Oh, he's got to know. Look how many Goliaths he has. Okay. MorroW has seen the carriers. He knows that carriers are coming. But is it too late? He was unable to actually claim this base because of the Zealot here. He's actually just have to float it out and try and fly somewhere else. Sorry, not the Overlord. The Observer sees the Terran army unsiege. He sees the move out. A few random buildings being placed in the middle just to provide some, you know, man-made terrain in the middle of the map. Hey, I got a host from Sihi. Thank you so much. Welcome to all of you viewers from Sihi's channel. I'm currently casting the Gambit Cup 4 Week 1 matches. This is between Team Ripping, the Swedish All-Stars, versus Team Net Wars, which I guess are the Polish All-Stars. So it's almost like a nation war going on right now, even though technically it's not. It's just a regular clan league. Meanwhile, Observer tracked the floating command center over to the left side, and here come the carriers. And interestingly, there's actually this kind of like wonky high ground terrain directly in the middle of the map. So this is actually quite interesting. This provides some nice terrain for the carriers to micro around. It's even better than Fighting Spirit. Like, Fighting Spirit has those random walls, but this is even better. This is a completely unpassable island. So the carriers can just dance around here all day long. This is actually really nice for carriers. I really want to see how many kills this Reaver has, by the way. I'm just waiting for this Reaver to actually drop so I can see how many kills it has. Look at the minimap! The Protoss ground army is going around the top right. 22 kills, 23 kills on this Reaver. I think the last one was actually a spider mine. But the Protoss ground army is now going up the right side of the map. MorroW's positioning his army to intercept. This, by the way, cross spawns means MorroW has to go through a lot of open ground to actually attack the Protoss player, which is really not what you want in TvP. You want to be able to use terrain. Although having said that, this middle island also provides some like flank defense for the Terran army as well. It's difficult for Protoss to get a good surround. Looks like we're gonna have a big engagement here. Maybe is Bonyth gonna commit to this? What are the upgrades? 2-0 finish for the Terran ground. Presumably 2-0 is done for the carriers. I need to find one that's actually not making interceptors. Looks like yes, +2 attack has finished for the carriers. What's the Protoss ground? +1 attack for the Protoss ground army. Bonyth trying to use his carriers to do as much damage as possible before engaging with the ground. He's got High Templars as well. Presumably they do have Psionic Storm. Meanwhile, looks like he's actually got Observer Speed as well, interestingly enough. And MorroW's journeying command center has actually found its way all the way at the bottom right main base. Vulture's running in, sniping a High Templar, very crucial pickoff. Remember, when you're fighting carriers with mass Goliaths, your Goliaths stack up a lot. And Psionic Storms can absolutely devastate the Terran army. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's actually, wait, does he only have 7 factories? Wait a minute, it looks like MorroW's only has 7 factories. I guess actually that's somewhat reasonable considering he's basically on 2 regular bases and a mineral only. He was not able to get that 4th command center running. I think he's landed it at the left side now. No, he can't. He blocked that with his own spider mine. We've got some micro going on here in the middle of the map. Trying to click these carriers. 7 carriers are on the field. 1 is in the deep red, but they are still all alive. The ground army is not committing to an attack. Look at this. MorroW blocked his own command center with a spider mine here at the left side. I don't think he expected to have to move that command center all the way down there. Terran army is getting very close to maxed here. It's going to come down to some big engagement eventually, although look at this, Bonyth going to buy as much time as possible with his carriers. He's got an obs, he's going to see MorroW attempting to take the right side main. He's actually cannoning the natural himself. Look at this. This is the natural, and this is the main. Both players taking the same side, but now the attack is coming in right here. Bonyth just constantly pushing the Terran player back, not allowing him to actually go for that big attack. More High Templars are out. They've got a lot of energy. Where are the storms is the question. Not coming out just yet. What's going on back at home? Lots of High Templar coming out. Carriers continuing to micro, continuing to pick off units. Double upgrades here for the Protoss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 gateways and 3 Stargates producing for our Protoss player Bonyth. He's taken the right side natural. Interestingly, he didn't take his mineral only. Look at the minimap. That mineral only in between there, he didn't bother to take it. Meanwhile, he's going in again. He's picking off some units. But with the siege up, he's deciding to move back. But look at the supplies. MorroW dropping to 162. Whereas Bonyth has been almost non-stop max and is also taking the left side base here. The left side natural. MorroW's landed this command center, but it's doing absolutely nothing, even though he could actually start mining here with some SCVs. And look at this! Look at this! He's cannon rushing the top right base. The probe actually fighting the SCV. He's actually going to win! The probe contributing to the action here. Mazur with the subscription. Thank you so much, my friend. Mazur, by the way, might actually play today. I don't know. I think he's on Team Net Wars. Very strong Polish player, plays some awesome PvZ. Thank you so much, dude. And it looks like, oh, full energy High Templar getting sniped here. But interestingly, look at this. The Protoss ground army is, oh my god, he's made 3 DTs. The Protoss ground army is getting smaller and smaller, but the supply stays high, which means the carrier count is getting higher and higher. All the supply is now going into carriers. I can't click all these carriers. It looks like it's at least 7, possibly more. He's got 2 more carriers on the way. It's actually not got quite as many carriers maybe as I would have expected, but it's still a lot. And the thing is, even if you got a lot of Goliaths, once the carriers hit that critical mass, there's almost nothing you can actually do against this. The Terran army's coming in again. He's going to try and find an engagement. Bonyth is really far forward. All the High Templars are actually getting blown up. There's a storm, but a complete whiff here And Bonyth has to be careful not to let his carries get caught, but remember, the corners are islands. The 4 corners of the map are islands. So in the absolute worst case, if he gets caught a bit out of position, he can potentially run into a corner. Meanwhile, just got a really awkward situation going on here. Mining gas next to the probe with the pylon. The Nexus here is dead. One Sea-Shank has actually killed all the cannons. And the probe has actually found this command center here. Wait a minute, what is going on? Looks like the left side, though, is actually mining a little bit for Bonyth. But look at this! Oh my god, the worker gangbang. 3 SCVs on 1 probe. Somebody slap a Brazzers tag on that. That was not safe for work. And 1 DT is actually now going to come over here to the right side. SCVs transferring to the top right in the middle of everything. Wait a minute, we got another engagement in the middle of the map. Oh man, is he? Wait, what are the upgrades? 3-0 now for the Terran grounds. 2 ground, 1 shield. Bonyth actually opted to get shield upgrades rather than ground armor because the shield upgrade actually benefits his carriers. Ground armor obviously does nothing for the carriers, and he's got so few ground units that ground armor doesn't even matter. Ground armor in PvT, by the way, generally isn't that helpful anyway because siege tanks do, I mean, look at this. Siege tanks with +3 do 85 damage per shot. If you get an extra armor, okay, they did 84 damage per shot. It's pretty much does nothing. So instead, he's gone for the shield, and thanks to the double cybernetic scroll upgrades, his carriers are 3-1-1. Carriers, by the way, have 4 base armor. It's the highest base armor in the game, I believe. I think battlecruisers only have 3, which means he's got 5 armor on these carriers. That is absolutely nuts. And SCVs are transferring through cannons! SCVs are transferring through photon cannons! What the heck? He's built a Nexus underneath a command center! What? Oh my god. Bonyth has built a freaking Nexus underneath the command center. He sniped the top left mineral only. That's been mined out. MorroW only has this base mining. Somehow the DT here actually died. I thought there was a DT here, but it actually died. I don't know what happened to it. And there's still a pylon here. He's just left the pylon alone. He's finally going to take down this base. By the way, Bonyth is mined out his main and natural and his third. His bottom right is getting quite low, so Bonyth is technically mainly mining from 1.5 bases, 1 here and the bottom right. But look at this interceptor cloud though, 200 supply against 140. Bonyth, just with these carriers, is taking down MorroW. Looks like he's got 9 carriers here. Oh man, I can't click it. 10 carriers now on the field, and he's actually gone back into ground a little bit. Even getting a random arc on here because he's got too many High Templars. He's now heading for the right side bases. He knows it's important to actually take this down. Another command center is being made. MorroW really needs that extra income. He's really starving right now off just the 1 base against so many carriers. Random DT even running in. Maybe going to get some mine bombs off. Can he get a good mine bomb? He's going to take down one of these siege tanks. Can he drag the mine in? He doesn't actually know where the mines are, I don't think. I don't see an observer. Okay, there's the observer coming in the back, but MorroW now in big trouble. Falling down to 100 supply, 114 supply. Nice D-Matrix, but look at the critical mass of carriers right now. I think that is going to be it for MorroW. Nothing he can do to hold this off anymore. But what a great game, though, from both players. I gotta say, I am actually very impressed at how well MorroW held off Bonyth. I mean, Bonyth has got to be one of the best foreigner players right now. You know, easily top 3, I would say, if not the best. So to actually play such a good long game against him is definitely no easy feat. But now the carriers are walking into the natural. I think that's going to be it. It looks like this command center actually died to photon cannons, interestingly enough. And GG from the Ripping Bear Claw. And Bonyth takes game number 1 for Team NetWars. But what a game one that was. That was such a great fight from MorroW. I mean, you know, Bonyth, he has insane Reaver control, insane carriers, and Bonyth still, or sorry, MorroW still put up a great fight. So I'm so hyped now for the Italian Esports Open, because I'm not gonna lie, I was one of the people who, when I saw the invites, I was like, you know, I wonder what kind of shape they're in. But you know, Draco, we know he's been practicing, we know he's been streaming a ton. MorroW clearly has started practicing again and is starting to get in good shape. Noni has been streaming, and also and by the post in his thread, he's been practicing like crazy as well. I don't know if anyone, how many people have seen this, but Noni actually, I think just a couple hours ago, posted in the thread saying, something like, I think someone was like, you know, I don't know how good Noni's gonna do, or something, and he was like, oh, you haven't seen 2017 Noni yet, and I was like, oh yes, 2017 Noni. So I think this event could be insanely good, guys. I can't wait.